Welcome to the NZ Travel Show, an interactive show where you can ask your NZ travel questions to the experts behind nzpocketguide.com, New Zealand's largest travel guide. The NZ Travel Show will start in exactly 2 minutes. Just the time for you to hit the like button, ring the notification bell, and subscribe if you have not done so yet. NZPocketGuide.com has over 3,000 articles covering all aspects of travelling in New Zealand, from a working holiday gap year to tips for a perfect family holiday. The site also features dozens of pre-made itineraries that you can use to plan your ideal trip in New Zealand. It's all Welcome to the NZ Travel Show, all available for free at nzpocketguide.com, so check it out. The NZ Travel Show is hosted by Robin, the Operations Manager of South Pacific Pocket Guide, the company behind nzpocketguide.com. The New Zealand Travel Show is also hosted by Laura, a journalist and editor-in-chief of South Pacific Pocket Guide and all its publications, including nzpocketguide.com. We're exactly 1 minute away from the NZ Travel Show. Get yourself comfortable and start asking your NZ travel questions in the chat. Robin and Laura will go over them when the show starts. In 30 seconds, our experts will be live from New Zealand to give you all the practical New Zealand travel tips you need, from the best transport options to the best accommodations and activities to choose for the perfect New Zealand holiday. Live from New Zealand, this is the NZ Travel Show with your travel experts, Robin and Laura.
Okay, this should be working now. Hey! Can you guys hear us now? Is it finally working? There's no sound, was saying Adil. Hey friends, there's a problem, I have no audio. Oh, looks like it's not just me, you're muted. Yeah, now it's working.
She can hear you now.
Kiwi Lauren is back. She says, I've only been home for a couple of weeks and I miss New Zealand so much already. Planning to do an epic trip to Japan with one of my New Zealand besties in 2025. Then I'll come back to New Zealand on the way home.
On the way home.
What? How does Japan to Canada makes it to New Zealand on the way home, Kiwi Lauren? That makes no sense. Anyway, all right,
the
so
scenic route.
yeah, so what we were saying before while you guys were not hearing us is that the concept of this NZ travel show is that you guys can ask us all your questions about traveling in New Zealand and we're here to answer them for you. That's what we do here.
Yes.
So yeah, feel free to ask all your questions, and otherwise we'll have a theme coming up a little later on today, and we'll just kind of blabber about all the things. What's Kiwi Lauren saying?
Kiwi Lauren says, it's clearly not on the way, but my heart lives half in New Zealand, so it's a must.
Are you going to take the family into New Zealand this time or not?
She said she didn't get to eat butter chicken pie on this trip, but I didn't get to give Hokey Pokey ice cream a fair chance this time around. So I need to do it again. Yeah. Yes, I mean, do it for the food.
Yes, just obviously you cannot find ingredients to make a butter chicken pie in Canada.
Yeah.
I agree, it's only in New Zealand. We keep all the butter chicken in New Zealand. We know that. Okay, so let's do our theme of the week. After this whole chaos a little bit, let's just go over that. She said, it requires a whole other flight across the Pacific. Don't argue with my logic. Of course, I'm not arguing. What's going on?
And Adil is letting us know the sound is back.
All right, theme of the week. All right, so this week we thought it'd be fun to talk about the best activities, sites and tours to do on the North Island of New Zealand. So if you are planning an epic escapades on the North Island of New Zealand, we want to know what are the awesome activities, attractions, free things, paid things, the things that are must-dos in New Zealand. Well, we've got you covered with our list of some of the favorite coming right up. Shall we begin?
Why not?
Okay, let me go there then.
Here's something we prepared earlier.
All right, so let's begin with number one on our lists, and it is...
Meet the icon of New Zealand, which is the kiwi.
You can find kiwi birds in many places in New Zealand, and one of the easiest way to actually encounter kiwi birds in the country is actually to go do one of those kiwi encounters in some of the conservation houses. There are some in Otorohanga, in the West Coast, in Franz Joseph, in Rotorua. So there's many different places where you can go and basically encounter those lovely kiwi birds. This photo in particular was taken while one of the vets at the place over there was actually doing a health check on one of the kiwi chick. So you may be able to even witness that, which is really, really awesome. All right. Next on our list, Laura, is to go as north as you can since you're on the North Island of New Zealand. So that's escaping to Cape Ringa.
Yeah, so one very popular road trip that you can do, particularly from around the Bay of Islands area, is to head all the way up north to the very top of State Highway 1 to a place called Cape Ringa, where there's a beautiful lighthouse right at the almost northernmost point. And yeah, beautiful views from there. You can see and also on your way up or down, you can do sandboarding at 90 Mile Beach. So a lot of bus tours will include that in the tour.
Which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, next up on our list, we have enjoying a Maori cultural evening with, of course, a hangi dinner.
Yeah, so this is very popular, particularly in the town of Rotorua. So over there, you can go and experience a traditional welcoming from the local Maori tribes there, which is called a pōwhiri, and then they'll do some cultural performances like the haka, which is so captivating to watch actually in real life right in front of you. And then yes, at the end of the experience, it usually concludes with a delightful hangi buffet, which is food cooked in an underground oven.
And it's damn yummy.
Yes.
All right, next up on the list, we have hiking to the Puakai Mirror Lakes, which is in Taranaki. Our friend Fabio, one of our Patreon supporter, actually did that very recently.
Yeah, so this is getting a little bit off the beaten track to the Taranaki region in the North Island. And this is a really cool day walk that you can do to some beautiful small lakes that are situated on your way up to up Mount Taranaki. You get beautiful views of Mount Taranaki in the background as well. Yeah, it's just a really cool and popular walk to do in that area.
And last on our first 5 list is obviously trying some of New Zealand's best cepage.
Yes.
In Hawke's Bay this time.
Yeah, so
Why
Hawke's Bay is actually the oldest wine region in New Zealand. So this is where it all began for the New Zealand wine industry. And yeah, they'll tell you all about it on various wine tours that you can take in the wineries there. But otherwise, a good thing to do is to either take a driving tour where a tour guide will take you from winery to winery to do different tastings, or you can cycle around them all, and you have a little basket at the front of your bike. You can gather some bottles of wine as you go. Yeah, good luck with that.
Danger. All right, so that wraps up our first 5. Let's go back to the live chat. Okay, so we have Willie Punde, I think. Oh my gosh, I may have destroyed. I'm sorry, Willie. I'm so sorry. He said, hello, I will travel to New Zealand in November this year. Thank you for your nice videos and tips for the entry. Kind regards from Germany. Oh, well, guten Nacht. I know it's night in Germany. Guten Nacht to you, my friend. It is very early here in New Zealand. So, yeah, awesome. If you have any questions about your upcoming trip to New Zealand, feel free to ask. This is what we do right here. We're here to help. We also have Anthony Comstock. What is he saying?
Yes, Anthony, one of our beautiful Patreon members, saying, Morena from Rodeo, California.
Laura, what does Morena mean?
It means good morning in the Maori language, which is Te Reo Maori.
Nice. And I think Kiwi Lauren was saying some stuff as well, right?
Kiwi Lauren, sorry, I missed that.
I missed it. It's my fault. It's my fault, Kiwi Lauren. You blame me.
Yeah, she says, it was great to see you guys on this trip. Thanks for making our meetup work out. It was like a celebrity sighting.
No, it was not.
No, but yes. I was a little bit disappointed that you didn't ask for my autograph.
She also says there is another thing. She's been to New Zealand 3 times, a total of 7 months cumulatively. And she still has never seen a kiwi bird.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, it is actually very difficult to see kiwi birds in the wild, particularly.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people will only ever see them if they do go to those like kiwi hatcheries or...
Admittedly, on our own, we've only seen kiwi birds in the wild once, and that was in Stewart Island. I've seen kiwi bird in the wild multiple times on top of that, and Laura as well, when we actually are going with Departmental Conservation Rangers or conservationists, like some other group like Kiwis for Kiwis or those kind of things. And we're going with them and they do conservation and just, we kind of like round them, the kiwi birds, and like catch them and then do the tagging and the weighing and everything and then let them go again.
Yeah.
But that's the only other way, but it's not really in the wild, is it? Because you have like the tracker.
Yes,
There's a video of us doing that.
These are kiwi birds that have been sort of released into the wild. They have tracking devices on their tied to their legs, and then they have very basic sort of tracker technology which beeps as they get closer type thing. I assume that's how it works, actually. I'm just saying that, but it's probably not how it works.
Well, you follow like how strong the beep is.
Yeah.
Like, the way you're oriented, you're like, if you get the strong beep, that's where you walk that way. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, if you're with the people that have the right tools and stuff, it's obviously easier to find. But yeah, no, kiwi birds are definitely not a common sighting in New Zealand.
If you want to know more about that, we do have a full video of like me literally spending time with the kiwi ranger and literally asking all the questions and everything. It's quite fun. Okay, so Lawrence is here as well, one of our amazing Patreons. She says, Kia ora, Laura, Robin, and everyone here. I love it. Then we also have Kiwi Lawrence says the autograph would be worth so much.
Oh,
Damn, I missed an opportunity. Do people buy autograph? Is that something that people do?
I don't know if people do that anymore. It's more like selfies, right? Which,
Yeah,
to
I
be
guess
fair,
so.
we did get a selfie together.
That's true. Ideal is asking you, Laura, are the places that were mentioned in the first list, excluding the road trip, wheelchair accessible? So the wineries, yes, some of them are wheelchair accessible. The hike to the mountain, nope. The Maori cultural evening, yes, there will be.
Yeah.
The road trip, well, not really. And some of the Kiwi houses will be wheelchair accessible as well. Actually, pretty much all of them, I
Yeah,
think.
so that would be a good
Yeah.
bunch to keep in mind, Adil.
Nice.
Cool.
And Kiwi Lowen says, last time I was in New Zealand before this trip in 2010, which was, damn, 13 years ago. Wow. She said, I did a skydive with Skydive Topo. This time we did Topo Tandem Skydive. Such a great experience. And they made the most amazing videos.
Oh,
So
cool.
impressed. Nice. Feel free to post the video on the Patreon group. I'd love to see it. So if you guys don't know, if you support us on Patreon, you get access to us basically 7 days a week. We hang out on a secret Facebook group where we all share kind of a lot of stuff, and you guys can post your itineraries and we advise on that and everything. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, all right. And there's also an extra hour live session, because this is going to be a fun live session after this one. I tell you guys, this is going to be a fun one. I'm
Wow,
excited.
making big promises.
Yeah, I know. There's so much to catch up on. There's all the drama from last week we have to catch up on. There's also the tease that I posted on the Facebook group that we have to catch up on. And we are also, I will explain to you guys why I'm hunchback like crazy, because that was crazy time. It was a crazy week. And we're also going to be talking about more of the things to do on the North Island. There's so much. There's so much coming up in this Patreon show. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Rick, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, hey, Rick.
He's coming as well to the Patreon show. That's going to be fun. Okay, so let's do 5 more of the North Island things.
Yeah.
So, 5 more must do on the North Island. Let's keep things going with the East Cape sunrise. And I apologize for this very unfortunate photo. Just where Laura is right now on this photo, there is said East Cape lighthouse, which is very famous.
Yeah.
So picture Laura as a lighthouse right now. I apologize for
I'll be the lighthouse.
Yeah, I did the slideshow, but I didn't kind of think, oh yeah, that corner gets cropped.
Oh well.
Apologies.
Yeah, but anyway, speaking about the East Cape sunrise, this is definitely a really cool activity to do if you are spending a lot of time in New Zealand. You've got the opportunity to go to the Gisborne region, and on your way there, which is a really cool road trip, you can stop by the East Cape Lighthouse, which is the first point of New Zealand that sees the sunrise each day.
Of mainland New Zealand, technically.
Of mainland New Zealand, yes.
Technically.
So yeah, there's a bit of a walk up to the lighthouse, which I think was having some work done on it. So hopefully it's back open now.
Well, it looked damn fine on this photo since
Yeah.
it's you. Ta-da!
Yeah, but even if you can't get up to the lighthouse, as this photo so well depicts, you can get some cool photos just along the coast as well.
Nice. All right, so next up on our list we have something we were just talking about in the live chat, and that was a skydive. But we're talking about the skydive in the Bay of Island because you may be lucky enough to land on the beach.
Yeah, so the why we mention particularly the Bay of Islands skydive is because they do, if the weather is correct, if it's good conditions, then you can do your landing on the nice sandy beaches of Paihia, which is very unique in New Zealand.
Yeah.
You can't do that anywhere else. So yeah, if you want to do a skydive on the North Island and you're looking for something a bit different, also they do skydives to, I think it's up to like 19 or 20,000 feet there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it from super high.
You get to see all those 144 islands
All those
that makes up the
islands.
Bay of Islands,
Yeah.
which is quite cool.
So that's a really cool activity to do.
All right, next up on our list, we have another really kind of cool thing to do, but this one is free. And that's following the crystal clear spring waters of the Te Wauhu Walkway.
Yes.
So where is that, Laura?
So yeah, it's also known as the Putaruru Blue Springs.
And how clear is the water there, Laura?
It's just unbelievably clear.
I just want to let you guys know that Laura always loves to tell me every time we see waters which are very clear, she's like, Robin, look at how clear the water is. She always states that.
I
It's so
love
funny.
seeing like bodies of water where you can see how clear the water is. That just feels so pure and oh, so good. So yeah, this is obviously a really good activity to do. To do the full walk, it's about 3 hours, but you can drive to, so there's 2 different places where you can park. So if you just want to get to the Blue Springs as quickly as possible, get to the main lookout area, then you can park on the other side, which makes it a bit shorter. But yeah, doing the 3 hours walk is definitely worth it. And a good way to break up that drive, especially if you're going between, say, Rotorua and Auckland, if you're looking for somewhere to break up the drive, then that's a really awesome natural attraction.
Provided that you already did Hobbiton, because pretty much everybody will do Hobbiton between Auckland and Rotorua as well. But that's kind of like a good sidestep from Hobbiton. It's a cool thing to do. Right, so next up, let's go back to some wildlife and let's experience a whale watching cruise.
Yeah, so very underrated because a lot of people think of whale watching happening in Kaikoura.
Yes, all the whale watching happened on the South Island, doesn't it?
But no. You
what?
could go to Auckland and do the Auckland Whale and Dolphin Safari, which actually departs right from the city centre itself at the Viaduct Harbour. And this is, you will see, you see lots of different wildlife on these cruises. You'll see dolphins, whales. Obviously, it's a wildlife experience, so obviously seeing particular animals is never a guarantee, but we have done this tour about 3 times and we've seen amazing stuff every single time.
Oh, there is the video we have, the first video of us ever doing that tour on the channel. We get to see gannets diving while a bride whale is coming together. It's just like so much action on the water in that. It's just absolutely epic.
It's amazing just what you can see in the Auckland in the Auckland harbour. So
which you don't really think of quite often.
Yeah.
All right, and so number 10 on our list is, well, all the geysers, hot springs, silica terraces, and more in all the geothermal park that North Island has to feature. So where are all those geothermal parks located?
So most of them will be located around the Rotorua area and between Rotorua and Taupo. So that whole area between those two towns is very active with geothermal activity. And some really cool geothermal parks that you can check out is the Waimangu Volcanic Valley. This one is a really large one, so there's various different hiking trails that you can do there, or if you just want to make it a short visit, you can walk down to the lake and they'll bring you back up in the bus type thing. So lots of options there. There's also Oraki Korako, which even to get to the geothermal park, you take a little bit of a short little ferry crossing across the Waikato River, which is a pretty cool entrance to the geothermal park. Yeah. There's also other geothermal parks like Waiota.
So those are two more like hidden gems geothermal park, but then you have the main ones.
Then you have the main ones, which is Waiutapu, which is famous for its champagne pools. There's also the Waikiti Valley thermal pools, which actually is a hot pool complex as well, but they have a bit of a thermal walk there. There's
and Te Puia as well.
Te Puia, which also combines with some Maori attractions there as well. So you really have a huge array of geothermal parks to choose from in that area.
All right, so that wraps up our first 10. More to come. Okay, so where are we at? Rick was saying kia ora, Robin and Laura.
And Kiwi Lauren says, I'll post a skydiving video right now in the Patreon group. Also, we jumped, changed out of our suits, paid, and drove 6 minutes into town where we parked and had... when we parked, we had an email with our photos and videos.
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
Yeah, they template those video making, right? They do them really fast. Like, they have, one guy which has his template, drop the shot, bam, 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 bam. They got the process kind of sorted. It's kind of fun. So Willie says...
Yes.
So, I have 2 days planned in the Taupo and Rotorua region. What are your tips for the hot springs and Lake Taupo? Also, I need some nice food spot for dinner. Thanks for the info in advance. Happy to share some tips. If you want us, Willie, if you feel a bit stressed about your itinerary, feel free to join us on Patreon. There is a link in the description below. And seriously, for $5 or $10, right? Just you don't have to stay for a long time. Just stay for 1 month. We'll review your whole itinerary and add all our notes to it, which is pretty cool. So you may want to consider doing that. Plus, you have access to all the extra perks, the extra show and the Facebook group and everything.
Yeah.
So if I have 2 days in Taupo and Rotorua, so tips for the hot springs. So
first of all, I would say if you don't have a car, because that could be a one. If you don't have your own vehicle, then Polynesian Spa in Rotorua is the easiest one to access.
It's right in the city center. You're doing really it's really, really super easy. If you do have your car, the Waikite thermal pools is actually our favorite, I think.
Yeah.
They all have their own let's say kind of ambience and experience and kind of feel, right? We love the Waikite thermal pools just because it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more out of town, and you have a really short walk, which I'd say is 5 minutes at most, and where you can go to actually the spring itself. So it's kind of cool to see the spring, so you see the water literally coming out of the ground, and then it kind of flows, and then it just feeds on the hot pool. So I think it's just really cool. So that'd be kind of the hot pools that you may want to do. If you want something a bit more Instagram worthy if you're in for the grams. You know, you have places like Hell's Gate where there is like access to muds and places like that. So that may
Mud
be
pools, yeah.
mud pools, and so at that point you get more something a bit more striking on photo if that's what you're after.
Yeah.
Just trying to obviously get a bit of more, like, we don't know you much really, right? So getting a bit more what you're after, giving you some options. So yeah, he also say so Lake Topo. So Lake Topo is pretty famous for like fishing. If you're into fishing, if you're into something a bit more unique, and you're in November, it's kind of cool. You can do a kayaking trip into a big Maori carving on the lake. So it's kind of like one of the most kind of photographed kind of
Yes.
activities to do in Topo.
And if you don't fancy kayaking, they also do sailing tours
Yeah, you
there,
can
which
do a
is very,
sailing tour.
very affordable.
Yeah. So if you don't want kayaking, you can do a sailing tour. You get a glass of bubbles and those kind of things, or beer or something like that. You know, you can drink and sail over there, and it's kind of nice.
If you're looking for another hot pool option in Taupo, again, if you don't have a car, then you can walk to Spa Park.
Yep.
There they have a free hot springs there,
Yep.
where the hot springs are meeting with the river, and then there's a nice little pool for bathing. It's very easy to find. It's well signposted, and you'll be able to
It's one of the
walk.
hot spots, yeah.
You'll be able to walk there from
Yeah.
town.
So that's kind of like the things to do there. I'm guessing after Taupo you'll head toward the Tongariro National Park, where you'll be able to do the Tongariro crossing and all that. So that's kind of like the guess for that. So that'd be those things to do. Another great thing to do in Taupo, and Kiwi Lauren was talking about it, is skydiving. So the great thing about skydiving in Taupo is that, first up, it's one of the cheapest in the country. So that helps on the budget. We like that. But also the views are pretty cool. So you'll be able to see the whole Tongariro National Park. You'll be able to see Mount Doom over there, which is quite cool, and you'll skydive above New Zealand's largest lake. So the views are pretty awesome as well. So yeah, here you go. That is kind of the things to do. Now, when it comes down to food spots for dinner, so there is many different places to eat in Rotorua and in Taupo, and it really depends on your taste, right? So if it comes down to Rotorua and you kind of don't know what you feel like, you can go to a place literally called Eat Street.
Yes.
And you go into Eat Street over there, and yeah, you'll be able to have access to a lot of different restaurants. You just walk down and just see what you fancy. I think that if I was to just have one night in Rotorua and go to it, that's literally where I would go, just because, I mean, there is other places that I personally prefer with Mediterranean food that Laura knows.
Yeah.
I'm dying to mention, but you're not here to have like Mediterranean food. You're here to have something a bit more eclectic and a bit more New Zealand style. So I think going to Eat Street is kind of like the place where you can just kind of see where your palate takes you, and I think that's kind of fun.
Another option in Rotorua, if you, if your budget is wide open, you can take,
Oh my God! When Laura says that, mate, usually you should run away.
I mean, yeah, this is just, when you think about, okay, just going there for dinner is a bit much, but you go up the gondola, and up there they have the Stratosphere restaurant, and they have a local winery that serves their local wines there as well. So yeah, that's
if you really want to treat yourself,
that's an option too.
All right, and so when it comes down to Taupo, when it comes down to eateries, there is a lot of different kind of. It's super eclectic in Taupo, right? You will have like some like fancy restaurants and some like really kind of cheap burger joint, which do like those kind of nice, grubby and fun burgers, nonetheless.
Pub grub.
Right? Yeah, like those. Well, there is literally one called pub grub. So so you'll have like a little bit of all those kind of things, right? So yeah, pub grub is a great place. It's also located like almost right in the waterfront.
It's just called the pub, isn't it?
I thought it's called pub grub.
Okay.
I think
we call it
pub grub. Yeah. So
yes.
we live not too far from Taupo, so we kind of often go there. So yeah, so pub grub is a kind of fun and cheery kind of place to go. I think it's called pub. I really want to search it. So yeah, so you've got that. So it's right on the waterfront. You also have some cafes right in the same area, which serve some really nice food, right?
Yeah. So actually, I'm actually thinking, what is the name of the? So yeah, on the same area, on the lakefront, you do have cafes as well.
Oh, it's called Pub and Grub.
Pub
Sorry.
and
we
Grub.
were close to it. That wasn't too far. Honestly, that wasn't too bad. Pub and Grub, guys.
Yeah.
I think we should get some props out of that. But yeah, so within the same area.
Yeah, I would also say Dixie Brown's. That's it. Dixie Brown's on the lakefront is a really popular option for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
They're open all day. So yeah, having great views of the lake as well is kind of like you're there for that. Another really popular option is the Vine Eatery, because it's also really about serving local wines as well. So that's a really good option if you're I just want to also squeeze in a lunch recommendation or a coffee recommendation that I really like, which is Baked with Love. They do some amazing cakes over there.
I want to talk about cafes. So if you're there for lunch and if you want to grab a lunch, there's 2 cafes that I do really like. It's called Replete, which has like a lot of like kind of organic food and everything like that, and Kefi, which has a bit more of a Mediterranean vibe, which is quite cool as well. So here you go. I think we should have you sorted, Willie. But if you do have any extra questions, feel free to ask. We are here to help.
You can always check out nzpocketguide.com as well, where we do have food guides to Rotorua, food guides to Taupo as well. So you can check out some recommendations. If you didn't get all of those names, then we have them listed on the website.
We have all of them there. All right, Willie says, "Wow, thanks for your time." No problem, mate. That's kind of what we do. Feel free to ask any follow-up questions, and Okay, so we have basically the whole Patreon gang right here having a chit chat, which is kind of fun. Kiwi Loren says, "My friend recommended the Wairaki terraces in Rotorua, but we didn't end up making it to any hot pools that day. We thought we might need it after skydiving and bungee jumping on the same day, though." Yeah, you were planning on doing that actually. Yeah. She says, "Just another reason why I need to get back here again." Oh, you definitely need more reason. It looks like convincing you is hard.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't know how to convince Kiwi Lauren to come back to Kiwi land.
Move to New Zealand already. Then you'll have enough time.
That is the simplest thing to do, so many things are left undone. Another friend wants to do to bike the Otago Rail Trail next time. Have you guys done that? We've done sections of it, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just because we never have enough time to do, when we go to any locations, we always pull like left, right, and center to do about like 30 different things, and we never have time to do those very long kind of extra things, right?
Multi-day trails.
Yeah, multi-day trails. It's always tough for us to be able to squeeze that in, but one day, we wish, we have a couple of like multi-day kind of experiences that we really want to do. So
Yeah.
Adil says, "Other place that were mentioned in the second list which are accessible, and also will people who only have upper body function be able to do physical sport activities mentioned?" Okay, so let's have a look at what we have. So skydiving, you've got to contact the company. Some of them have some equipment that can do it or not. It depends on the
case by case
of the client and on the company as well. So you've got to contact them and chat with them. Walk up to the East Cape Sunrise. Nah, you won't be able to kind of go up there. That's just not happening, sadly. The spring water, the walkway, if you get close enough and somebody can push you, you can actually go see it. But you wouldn't be able to do the whole trail.
Yeah.
Well, watching cruise, it will depend on what boat equipment they have. I think they will kind of get you to stay on the back of the boat. But,
I know, like, for going between in and out of going from inside, like the cabin, to going outside, they do have, like, because it's a boat, they usually have those doors where, there's a lip at the bottom to make sure it seals at the bottom of the door. So obviously going in and out it's better to have someone there to also help you. Yeah.
And when it comes down to all the geothermal park, I think the most wheelchair accessible one will be Te Puia. That would be the easiest one to kind of head to. So that's the one I would choose if I had to.
Yeah.
Sherry is here. She says, "Sorry I'm late." Yeah, how dare you? Welcome on board, Sherry. Happy to have you there. And so we have Kiwi Lauren welcoming her as well. All right. So keep the discussion going, guys. Continue with all your questions. We will continue with 5 more of the awesome things to do on the North Island of New Zealand, and then we'll get back to your questions, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right, so we are at... I'm just preparing. All right, so number 11 on our list is the rapids of Ika Falls in the town of Taupo.
Yeah.
So how impressive is Ika Falls, Laura?
It's very impressive. If you want to see a whole bunch of water just squeezing its way in such a crazy, tumultuous way down a narrow canyon, then this is for you. Ika Falls is the most visited natural attraction in New Zealand because it is so easy to access. The car park is right there at the attraction. You just park up, and then you are 2 seconds away from the bridge where you can see the first viewing of Ika Falls. But there are different walkways around the area to get different views, so make sure you, explore a little bit to get some different angles.
You can see it within 5 seconds, and you can see it for hours.
Yes.
So you can choose how long you want to see it for. Okay, so let's stick within the same area right here, and let's head to another extremely popular attraction in New Zealand, and that's the beautiful Tongariro National Park with the Tongariro crossing. Look at that photo of me.
Yes.
I love it. It's one of my favorite photos of myself. 19.6 kilometers. I'm saying it first. Here you go.
Yes.
That's how long the hike is.
Yeah, it's a full day hike, and it's one way. So you best way to deal with the logistics of that is to take one of the shuttle services that will take you to the beginning of the walk, and you can spend all day enjoying yourself, walking through the beautiful mountain scenery. There are a few very steep sections, so you know at least a bit of fitness is required. But yeah, it is a long day for most people. Definitely not something that you should rush, even though a lot of people do
Take
like
your time, enjoy
brag
it.
about them doing, oh, I did it in 4 hours or whatever. No, take 6 to 8 hours, enjoy yourself. There's some cool side tracks to some little waterfalls and stuff. Make sure you're prepared with lots of water, lots of snacks. And yeah, and then otherwise you'll have a beautiful time in some amazing volcanic landscapes.
Next up on the list, we're going from the top of the volcanoes to the bottom of the seas with an awesome scuba diving trip in Pornight Island, living from beautiful Tutukaka.
Yeah, so Pornight Island is one of the top places to scuba dive in New Zealand. If you go there in winter, you might also get the opportunity to swim with seals, but they're not there all year round. But yeah, there's some really cool arch formations that are connected to these volcanic islands, and then once you get there, there's all sorts of amazing schools of fish. Mau Arches is one of the places that we scuba dived there. You can check out our video on our channel of us scuba diving in Pornight Islands, because you know, just talking about it doesn't do it justice. It's really a place that you have to see with your own eyes.
It's really amazing. All right, so next up, you've got to dig your own hot pools because, you know, work, you lazy travelers. Dig your own hot pools in Hot Water Beach. So why do you dig your own hot pools there? Just explain the concept, right?
Okay,
it's weird.
So underneath the sands of what is called Hot Water Beach in the Coromandel, there is a hot spring, and the water sort of seeps up through the sands, but it's only in a place that you can access at low tide. So then at low tide, where you get to the very points where you can access where the hot water is, then as the tide sort of starts to come back in, you'll get some cool water mixing in with the hot water that comes through the sand, and then you've created your own little hot pool. Obviously, if you dig a little bit, it's not just on the surface. You do have to dig it's just some shallow pools, and it's just a really unusual sort of experience that's really unique, and and you can do it in the Coromandel.
It's heaps of fun. Okay, speaking of heaps of fun, something that you can't only do once, you've got to do it twice or thrice. It's the luge. So we have the luge in Rotorua on the North Island.
Yes, we do. So after taking the Skyline gondola to the top, there you have 3 different tracks which you can take on the luge, which is basically go-karts that are powered by gravity. So all you do is you're lifting handles up and down.
The first thing you're doing is to put some weight on in order to actually accelerate.
Yeah,
right?
so
you put your own body on there. you put some weight.
You sit in there. Then all you're doing is lifting up the handlebars to brake and to speed up, and etc. etc. So
Look at my big butt right here powering me down the hill.
Notice who's in front. Winning the race.
Wow, who has the biggest butt then?
Oh, true.
I don't know if you want to go there.
Yeah, whoopsie. I will. Yeah, biggest butt is me, I guess. So really fun to do.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of people get very competitive with racing down there.
Says Laura, that was like, notice who's in first right now.
It's just, something about the luge just like changes you, but yeah.
No, you cannot blame it on the luge. You were always like that.
There is an option in Queenstown, but people amongst the circles of people that have done both, usually we say that Rotorua is the best one.
Indeed. All right, so that wraps up 15 right now. More to come.
Yes, so
where are we at? Willie actually is saying that it's his first time in New Zealand, so it would be hard to make it because he only has 23 days of time. That's great to come for 3 weeks at least. That's really awesome, mate. That's really good that you get enough time to actually get a good feel for New Zealand. Very, very good on you, my friend. Sherry says, I went to a teppanyaki and karaoke last night, so I'm running on 6 hours sleep.
Oh, party time.
Yeah. She said, by the way, this week I'm on single digit. Next week, 9 weeks to go. 63 days, is that correct? Yeah, you only 63 days from your trip to New Zealand, Sherry. That's very exciting. Oh my God, Sherry is coming. That is cool. Matua X says, Morena, my friend, how are you doing? Another one of our amazing Patreon supporter. Kiwi Loren says she started a countdown as 174 days. Yes, but not everybody started the countdown at 6 months, Kiwi Loren. You're the only one, I think. I love it. To be fair, Kiwi Loren, you were saying you were coming this year, like many years ago. So technically, you started your countdown with us like at least 2 years in advance.
Yes.
You're trying to downplay it right here, which I like. And Sherry says, I can't wait to see all the photos from Lauren. Yes, Kiwi Lauren, you need to send us 60 photos so we can do it on the Patreon show. So one of the things we do during our Patreon show is that when you guys are coming back from New Zealand, we all look at your photos and either try to guess where it is or just comment on the photo, judge you harshly or not harshly at all. So yeah, you need to post a big slideshow. You need to select your 60 best photos and post them on the Facebook group so I can take them. Kiwi Loren also say, yes, I've done the luge in Rotorua 3 times in 2007, 2010, 2023. And just this time, I did a night luge in Queenstown. The gondola was reopened after renovation, on schedule, shockingly. Yeah, I was actually quite shocked. They announced that they were doing the renovation. I was like, oh man, they're going to be closed until like September, right?
Yeah.
No, they opened right on time.
Wow.
That was quite amazing.
Well done, guys.
That was really awesome. It's very rare in New Zealand that construction works finishes on time.
It's happened anywhere near on time. It's usually like a couple of years later.
What is Mature X having to say?
Mature X says, I'm good, thank you. How are you? I got half of my forearm done. Got a tamoko done.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Can you post some photo of it on the Patreon group? I really want to see it.
Yeah,
That'd be
we'd
awesome.
love to see that.
Should show us also the process a little bit. That'd be really cool. So are you still able to exercise? So if you guys don't know, Matua X is a rugby referee. So are you still able to exercise and kind of run and everything, even if you have like most of the arm done? Because I know it's kind of, it gets sore and maybe I'm the only wuss. But yeah.
Or do you have some cling wrap around there and you're like, okay, I'm good, guys.
Adil says, other place you were mentioned in the third list, wheelchair accessible, and also will people will have a... Okay, the same question. Okay, that's a flat no for the luge. For the hot water beach, I don't think wheelchair works very well on the beach, so I would say no. Scuba diving would be a no. The Tonga crossing would be a no. Hookah Falls for sure, yes, it's very short. So if you just do the 5-second section, you'll be absolutely fine. So here you go. Hookah Falls will be the one option for you on the third list. Thank you for the question, my friend. Kiwi Loren said, that sounds awesome. I will go through the photo and hopefully this week and can post 60 in the Patreon group. Yeah, so when you do that, then I will schedule a Patreon show where we look at those photos, which will be fun.
Fun.
Kiwi Loren says, I love to see the Tamoko. So, okay, so she's egging you, Macho X. You've got to post the photos. She got a tattoo of New Zealand in her wrist on this trip. And now I will keep New Zealand with me literally forever. And I can see it all the time. Yeah. So Laura has the North Island and I have the South Island actually tattooed as well. You can see videos of us getting the tattoo done.
Mature X is currently posting it on the Facebook group.
Nice.
So
cool. I want to see it. I'm actually going to start looking at my phone. What is Sherry saying in the meantime?
Sherry says, I'm booked for a tattoo on my trip. I've booked in Queenstown since I realised that I have a lot of water activities I need to avoid first. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's always the thing. If you
my gosh, that is huge, mate.
Ooh.
Look at that. That is big. That is cool.
Oh, it looks so fresh.
Yeah. Oh, God, it looks so unfresh on the video on TikTok. Oh, that's really cool, my friend.
Wow.
Oh, my God, it's beautiful.
Nice
love
one.
it.
Thanks for posting it on there.
Wow. I will watch Kiwi Loren's video a bit later because I know that's going to be a bit of a longer one.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so Sherry's getting one in Queenstown. Nice.
Wow. Nice. This Patreon Facebook group is getting busy right now. I need to take some time to go and browse social media. I don't spend enough time on social media. All right. Okay, we do have some more things to do on the North Island to go over. Should we? Okay,
let's do it.
We'll do 5 more when you guys continue asking questions or commenting, and then we'll get back to you. Okay. 5 more things to do on the North Island, which are absolutely awesome. And let's begin with Kapiti Island. You can kind of step back in time there and just see back what New Zealand looked like before humans arrived.
Yeah, so this is a way that you can sort of experience a bird sanctuary in New Zealand, because islands make great bird sanctuaries, as the water provides a great barrier for invasive species and pests. So you can take various boat tours from Paraparaumu along the Kapiti coast, and they take you along to Kapiti Island, where there's a few walks that you can do, and you can see and hear so many different native birds. There's lots to see there. You can even do overnight experiences where they have kiwi bird on the island, so you can go and see if you can spot any kiwi birds overnight.
Okay, next up we have mineral hot pools. You can soak in many of them on the North Island. There's really a lot of them.
Yes, so we were talking about this a bit earlier in the video.
Yeah, for Willie that was asking some questions.
Yes, but yeah, most of the sort of natural geothermal hot pools, or at least naturally fed geothermal hot pools, are based along the Rotorua and Taupo area. You have the Polynesian Spa, which is right in the city centre of Rotorua, which is a great option. They have their sort of luxury pools, their deluxe pools, and also the pools that all the rest of us like to go to. But
the peasants' pool.
Yeah, but either way, both experiences are great. There's also Taupo de Bretts, the Waireki Terraces, both of those in Taupo. We have lists on nzpocketguide.com for the best hot pools in New Zealand, so go check it out.
So you can compare what makes them different and choose the best one for you.
Yes.
Next up, what about a great walk? And by that I mean a great walk.
Yeah, don't take an average walk. Don't just take an okay walk. In New Zealand, the Department of Conservation has things called the New Zealand Great Walks, which are multi-day hikes that are very superbly maintained. They have massive huts that you can stay in along the trail overnight. Again, you do need to have some sort of self-sufficiency, so you will need to take your own food, your own sleeping bag, etc., etc. Your water
and more water.
You will need a big backpack for these multi-day trails, but they are definitely worth the experience to get out in the wilderness. There's various ones that you can do on the North Island. You have the Tongariro Circuit, the Lake Waikaremoana, which is a really cool one as well. There's is there any other ones on the North Island, or is that just that?
I think that's the 2 ones in the North Island.
Two main ones in the North Island. So yeah, that's the Great Walks of New Zealand. There's a couple on the North Island worth exploring.
All right. What about we send people skiing down an active volcano?
Yeah. So yeah.
Want to brand something mightily? Go for that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realise that there are ski fields on the North Island, not just on the South Island. And actually, the largest ones are around Mount Ruapehu, which is indeed an active volcano. So during the winter months, there is snow on the upper parts of the mountain, and of course, chairlifts, T-bars, pulleys, all sorts of crazy sort of lifts where to get your New Zealand experience of skiing. But they have lots of well-groomed trails and lessons if you want to learn as well.
Can you hear the music in your head? Pa-da-da, pa-pa-pa-pa, pa-da-da. Okay, let's go to Hobbiton.
If you want to
visit Middle Earth.
Go to the Shire. Then yes, one of the popular activities to do on the North Island is go to Hobbiton, the Hobbiton movie set, which is still preserved to this day to look like the
Bristol, preserved, rebuilt. Yeah, kind of like it's not a historical artifact. Let's be honest.
Yeah, true. Restored in all its glory. So the Hobbiton movie set looks just like it did in the movies of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, so you can go and do a nice short tour there. They'll give you some sort of behind the scenes insights as you're walking around, and then finally at the end of the tour you go to the Green Dragon Tavern to get yourself a nice cup of ale.
Here you go. All right, that's 5 more, and that makes it 20 best thing to do on the North Island of New Zealand. Let's go back to the live chat.
Okay, where were we at? We were at
Kiwi Lauren,
Kiwi Lauren.
likes the tattoo. Yeah, you saw it on the group. That's a really cool tattoo. I absolutely love it. Sherry says, I'm going to the secret spot hot pools in Rotorua. Keep it secret.
Yeah. It's everybody. No,
it's called Secret Spot.
It's located next on the road, very close to the entrance of Waio Tapu Geothermal Park. So yeah, we do have a list of on nzpocketguide.com of the free hot pools that you can check out around New Zealand. Oh, secret spot hot tubs. Yes, that is a new thing there as well.
Yeah, so they call themselves that because the name was so popular in Rotorua.
Yeah.
It was a very clever marketing play. So I don't know if you're talking about the secret spot hot tubs in Rotorua.
Oh, the secret spot hot.
Yeah, the secret spot natural hot pools is the cool place to go. The other one, you just been luxury hot tubs. That's just it. Just putting it out there. Just wanted to quickly show Laura because I noticed that they did this one.
Yeah, Robin could see that I was going off track there. But yes, there is the hot tubs as well.
Exactly.
Which, they're great as well. Cedar hot tubs in the forest. Have a drink while you're in the hot tubs. I think they have a bar there as well. Yeah.
Sherry also says, I'm going to cry the first time I see Hobbiton. It is a cool place to visit. I don't know if it's worth your tears, but it is a cool place to visit for sure. Matua says, I could see Mount Ruapehu from the Tokora lookout. That's awesome. Wow. So you're going to the hot tubs. Try to go to the secret spot. It's a bit more, natural and fun.
Muddy.
Yeah, it's a bit more what a hot pool is.
It's a bit rougher.
Yeah. And it's much cheaper as it's free.
Yeah.
Adil is asking us if the place that we mentioned where wheelchair accessible. So Hobbiton will be, right? Kapiti Island probably not. The mineral hot pools, the Polynesian Spa.
If you can get yourself into the pools yourself, they don't have wheelchair lifts or anything there.
The Great Walks won't be, and the Ruapehu ski field probably wouldn't be either. All right, cool. So while you guys continue, we'll do 5 more because why not? We're enjoying ourselves.
We're here.
Okay, a very, very cool adrenaline activity to do on the north island of New Zealand is whitewater rafting. And there is many good spots to do it.
Yeah, one of our favourite spots to do whitewater rafting on the North Island is the Rangitikei River, which you can do with River Valley, located near the town of Taihape. They have a really awesome whitewater rafting sort of set up there where you go with, very professional guides. They're also a little bit cheeky as well. But that's a really cool spot to do some whitewater rafting. We also...
And Kiwi Lauren in the chat says that she did whitewater rafting at River Valley and loved it. So,
it is really fun. We do have videos on the channel of us doing that experience. Another really cool river just to mention is the Mohaka River near Napier, so that's another cool option as well.
Indeed. Well, let's stay on the water and let's go jet boating.
Yes. So you can do the rapids jet,
which is kind of whitewater rafting, but with a jet boat.
It is one of the very unique jet boating experiences in New Zealand, where you are going over some quite big rapids, which usually you are going on sort of flat rivers and lakes on other jet boating experiences in New Zealand. But near the town of Taupo, rapids jet gives you a very more, I would argue, a more adventurous adrenaline experience on their jet boat there. And
if you want something less adventurous, we're going close to Huka Falls. There is Huka Jet there. Yes. All right, next up, something which is probably on everybody's itinerary, I think is no news right here, the glowworms.
Yeah, so Waitomo is the famous go-to destination for your glowworm experiences.
For all these shiny maggot experiences.
Yep, there's more than just the obvious, the Waitomo glowworm caves are obviously the most obvious short experience that you can do there, where you go into the walkway, and then onto a boat to sort of float underneath the glowworms. But there are actually lots of different tours that you can do in Waitomo. There is Spellbound, there is Cave World, there is Blackwater Rafting, Waitomo Adventures. So make sure you do compare all your options there, because there really is a lot of ways to experience the glowworms.
Indeed. All right, so let's get out of the cave and right in the sun with some surfing in the mecca of surf in New Zealand, which is Raglan.
Yes, if you want to go to the hotspot for surfing. Whether you're an avid surfer, you can go there, you know, stay in one of the local backpackers. They'll tell you where to go, and yeah, you can go do your own independent surfing. But there's also lots of opportunities to learn to surf on a nice sandy beach. So yeah, there's lots of surf schools in Raglan, and it's a great place to learn to surf and just enjoy the nice relaxed atmosphere of the town.
And finally, let's meet the giant of the forest, the father of the Northern, beautiful Tane Mahuta.
Yes, so kauri are the largest trees in New Zealand. They are, just in terms of their sort of, their girth is really huge.
Yep.
So yeah, going on into the Waipua forest is where you will find the largest kauri tree in New Zealand, called Tane Mahuta. It's on a very short walk. All the walks in this area are all boardwalks as well, so the terrain is very easy to walk on, and they're mostly very short walks too. But once you see these trees, they're very impressive to see for yourself, see the sheer size of them, and also it's a cool area to see kiwi bird if you're lucky on an evening.
Indeed. All right, so that wraps up 25 things to do on the North Island of New Zealand. I hope that you guys all enjoyed that. If you want to hit like, subscribe, all this kind of good thing, that's always handy. But most importantly, if you want to see all of this information in written form with even more like links and locations and all of that, head to nzpocketguide.com and you'll have all that at the ready, all for free. All right, Rick is looking forward to whitewater rafting. Yeah, I love whitewater. It's one of my favorite activities to do. I absolutely love whitewater rafting.
Yeah, it is really fun.
Matthew X says he's not referring today, so he's good. He's good for the tattoo, which is good.
Cool.
What is Kiwi Lauren saying?
Kiwi Lauren says, I did the Buller River jet boat on the South Island and the Wanganui River on the North for glowworms. This time we did Spellbound in Waitomo, and it was a great different experience.
Yeah, it's very different, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. And then Kiwi Loren says, I've done the regular Waitomo a couple of times prior to that. All right. So I'm going to predict what Adil is going to say, because at this point he's acting like an AI. And so he's going to say, which one are wheelchair accessible of the last 5 ones that we mentioned? And so whitewater rafting, I don't think so. Jet boats, neither. Some jet boat will kind of let you come depending on what kind of disability you have. So it's a case-by-case basis.
Yep.
For the glowworms, the main one will have like that part where they can take you. So you won't be able to do the full tour, but you can do some small section of it.
The Waitomo glowworm caves, which is what the name of that tour is.
I don't think surfing will work, and also hiking in Kauri Forest, I don't think that will work either. But here you go.
So they're boardwalked, but the only thing that I would say would be a challenge is actually at the cleaning stations at the beginning. I don't know if they have a wheelchair cleaning station, because usually when you go on these walks, you have to scrub your hiking shoes to not bring a disease called Kauri dieback into the forest. And you would have to look on the Department of Conservation website, see if they do provide that for wheelchair users, because otherwise you have to stand on these things to clean your feet. Don't know how that works for wheelchair users.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, so that wraps up 25 things to do in New Zealand. Ideal posted it now.
we beat you to it.
Got you, mate. All right, so next week we will do the South Island. So that's gonna be kind of fun. We'll do, we'll do a back-to-back kind of special like that. So we do 25 North Island, 25 on the South Island. There is an article with 50 on NZ Pocket Guide, which is quite cool. And so, thank you very much for hanging out with us, guys. We are going to start the Patreon live show literally right now. So, everybody which is on Patreon, join us in. There is a lot to cover. That's going to be fun. Laura may even make an appearance. Maybe. We'll see. She likes to keep herself secret at the moment. She's like hiding.
What am I going to do? I'm so unpredictable.
I know. It's kind of like, what's going on with Laura? Well, it's been an unpredictable couple of weeks, let's be honest. So, All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for an awesome live show. We will see you next week at the same time, at the same place. Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye-bye.